Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick live update on the layout and the things I've been doing all morning. I only got a few hours of sleep, but I had to get this done because I got tired of it. And I got pretty much fed up with the crossovers and the derails and the short outs on the switches and everything. So I stayed up for another hour and a half, didn't go to bed till around I'd say about 2 o'clock this morning uh, working on this. So let's get to it because I have a lot to cover in this. First thing first, that switch that was up there on the main, I took it out and moved it over to the inside main. And what I did is I just moved everything over from the outside, moved it over here, and I took care of that. I didn't want that switch up there anymore. I just wanted it more close here. And the reason why I did that was to improve layout operations for the runaround. So what's going to happen here is it's quite simple. Instead of doing a runaround all the way over there by dragging everything out over there and doing a runaround, I can do the runaround over here. Now, be mindful. Now, you already seen my runarounds, and it's almost a 25 car runaround involving the outbound train. Well, what I'm gonna do is instead of doing everything there, I'm going to have the cars be shoved here in the clear, and then run around them, and then set some of it to the interchange, this interchange track, and then have the rest of it set at the other side of the track. Now, what's going to happen is the outside train, the long haul train will uncouple over there at the crossover, switch over, and then shove down here, drop the inbound train on one track, which mostly will be this track, and then pick up the outbound train over here, and then drag out and then take it that way. I know it's a little complicated, but confusing on how I'm explaining it. But when I do the operations, you'll see what I'm talking about. So that was a major change that needed to be done, and hopefully it'll work all right. The next thing I did was after I got off the phone with Vinny and uh, got a chewing out, I was like, okay, let's get all this done. So I pulled the yard track out, the yard lead out right here. I pulled this all the way out, completely out. Took it out. I fixed the curve, took out that bad section, come back in with another piece and put it in. Now, what I did is, when I did this, cleaned it all up, put the track down. I glued the track down and let it set and dry, and then come back with the ballast this morning, about 30 minutes ago, and ballast not only this, but I ballast that up there since it was all pretty much dry. Then uh, I made sure everything was that before I put the ballast on. I did a test run about 6 times with set the SD70 Mac, which is over there. With the SD70 Mac on here, made sure everything worked perfect. I didn't want any issues, and so far it worked great. No problems. Another thing is I put that another throw switch in here. I need to put the other throw switch up there. I will do that this evening. And also, no more shortages on this crossover. I made sure that I took the track out, the switches out, and replaced this switch. And it wasn't more of this switch; it was the switch that was here that was doing the short out. So I fixed that, and everything is running fine over here. Uh, Before I put the ballast down and everything, I did some switching over here with all three engines, and then took it from there. There's a few more things I need to work on down here on the end and take care of that. But all of this is done over here. Uh, Hopefully by this evening everything will be said and done. I'm not going to do any operations on the layout. I blue flagged it for tonight. Uh, I got to make sure everything is dry and set. I won't probably do any operations till Saturday night, tomorrow night, when I know everything is up and running and there won't be any issues. I better not have any issues. So that's pretty much it on that. Now, where everything is at on this layout, people ask me where is everything, and to be honest, no offense to anybody, and I apologize, but when I do operations, I try to concentrate on the operations and not have conversations because that can be a distraction and it makes the operations a little bit longer than what I expected. Because this operations, uh, just for Jackson Yard, classifying Jackson Yard, it takes almost a little bit over an hour to do. And this over here, this whole section starting with half a cement and doing 9 rack and then shoving it all in the area, that takes almost an hour. Because I don't speed through this. I take my time trying to do my switching operations. And so um, that can become an issue trying to talk to y'all and then come back and then try to do the operations because then I'll just stop what I'm doing. So I'm going to go through everything on this layout so that y'all know where everything is at and there won't be any confusions on what is what. So please watch this video. So we're going to start over here in Sausalito East and Sausalito West. These two tracks here, Sausalito East, is for mainly for my hoppers, the chemical hoppers, and the outbound train. Now this outbound train, excuse me, stays over here because I don't really run it unless I have nothing else to do. And I'll just pick this up and then take it all the way out to the main. So that's pretty much it. What its task is. The cement, I'm sorry, the regular hopper. These funnel hoppers are for Big Blue and for over here. And I store them on this track, and as you can see, I hardly have any in here. One of them I nearly destroyed, chucked it against the wall, well, against the layout. And that's pretty much it. What's over here in Sausalito East. Sausalito West, different story. This is where everything from Jackson Yard that is involved with uh, Vinny Industrial, 9 rack, the grain elevator, and Hoffa Cement. Everything that involves that comes over here to this yard, Sausalito West. If you watched the video last night, you saw me build a train to come from over here to come over here. And so that's its main role. That's pretty much that's this yard's role. So That's Sausalito West here. Hoffa Cement has two lines coming in. One is a loaded, one is an empty. And every time it shoves in the clear to come to this track. And then once it's done with that, it will drag all the cars up here in the clear and then uncouple the loaded or empty cars and then come back in and spot under the grain elevator. So it's pretty simple, nothing major. Uh, do an operation video on that soon, just for Hoffa Cement. Over here, the grain elevator is a one car pool to spot. Uh, what I do there is pretty simple. I pull a car, set it to the side, shove back in, spot a new car. And then I would keep at least 3 to 4 cars in the curve to go in for spot. Over here is the siding tracks. And these are pretty much storage and inbound outbound tracks. In other words, pretty simple. I store some grain cars over here for the grain elevator. I store some cement cars over here for Hoffa Cement that come in from the inbound train when it comes around. Uh, Now, mostly all the cars are at Hoffa Cement, but in the first operations, you probably seen what I did with those cars. So there's pretty much not pretty explanatory on that. You pull the car, you set it to the siding, and then take it to the yard for the outbound to build the outbound train. This is getting blurry. I apologize. It'll clear up in a minute. Um, but like I said, everything can be stored over here in the siding. And what I did last night, I had already did my spot and drops, but instead of taking it to Jackson Yard in Sausalito West, I brought it over here. And what we'll do here is we will take it over to Jackson Yard, and when we get ready to build the train, we'll build the train off of these rail cars, and then we'll set it to the interchange over there. Now, the next part of this is 9 rail. 9 rail is called a 9 rack, the tank rack, where the tank cars come and be loaded. This is a loading area. It's not unloading. Everything here is being loaded. Uh, as you can see, uh, 4 cars over here, and then 1 car here, and then 1 car here is being loaded. So 6 cars are being loaded at all times, uh, or 8 cars, depending on how many, depending on if I have the short cars in. So it depends. I can go 6 or I can go 8, but mostly it's going to be 6. 4 small, 2 large, depending on the spot area. Pretty simple. Big Blue is referred to as 8 rail. This is 8 rail. The inside track, this track here is for the loading of the resins. On the outside, this spot area, and this spot area here is for unloading chemical to make the resin. Uh, Down here is a sand car, and that sand car is being unloaded. So we have an unloading area, an unloading area, an unloading area, and then loading areas on the inside. That's 8 rail. On further over here, this is called 4B. This is all 4 rail. That's 4 rail regular down there. This is 4B. This area is for the 5 brown tank cars. I have 5 brown tank cars and then the 1 yellow tank car that's over there in Jackson Yard. This is the unloading area. Down here, This is 4 rail. And then we have 4 spot and drops over here. 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4. Will never change. Main thing here is for loading these box cars for ship out. Nothing fancy about that. Just loading. Over here, this is uh, 2 hopper spot and drop. Uh, what goes on over here is the resin cars that come from here comes over here. It's not a direct point to point because it goes back to the yard, build a train, and then come around and then come over here. So, like I said, that's point to point. Then the last area on this layout for spot and drop is Vinny Industrial Park. And you have 3 buildings, uh, hopper unload, boxcar loading or unloading for supplies, tank car unloading, boxcar for unloading, loading supplies. And then this is the building that I built the other day. This here will be point to point. Uh, what comes from over there comes over here. This is a distribution area, same as that one, but this is more like a business selling uh, the grain or whatever's come out of here. Nothing major. So it's sort of like a cycle now. I'm trying to build a rotation point to point cycle. It's just a matter of time, and I have it all done soon. So that's pretty much it on this layout. You have seen all my spot and drops, the yards, where everything goes, its purpose, and like I said, it's still a lot of work in progress on this layout. There, I'm not going to guarantee any more there if there be any more changes uh, for smooth rail operations, but this over here needs to be changed. Uh, Too many derails up there at the top of the switch when it used to be up there, so I took it out. I ran it all night, and it works great. Everything works perfect over here now, so hopefully Sunday or Saturday night or Sunday, I'll be able to do some rail operations. But now it's time for me to get dressed and get ready for work. Uh, I hope I was able to go through some things on this layout. And please leave a comment. Uh, I'll answer your questions as soon as possible. But I have to go to work. And I will see all of you later. I'll probably do an update on the operations of the layout, see if everything runs after I dry. It's been dry. Like I say, I stayed up till almost 2 o'clock in the morning, adjusting track, pulling track, uh, fixing drops, hot drops, and everything, and making sure everything runs smoothly for the next operation. So hopefully, and I say hopefully, we will have a great rail operations next time around. So until then, I will talk to y'all later. Sorry I made this update so long, but it was overdue with some of the stuff that was been going on the layout. I hope I fixed everything. Fingers crossed. And I will see y'all on the next rail operations. Until then, y'all have a wonderful evening or good morning. I'm sorry, wonderful morning. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.